Pasha Shlach Tafshin Pedalet. I want to speak about the aspect of the Meraglim. You know, HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised already that it's going to be Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash. When he took them from Mitzrayim, I took you out from the poverty of Mitzrayim, the misery of Mitzrayim, to bring you to a land of abundance. So what's the whole point of the Meraglim? This defeats this point. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu already promised, then trying to even double check is a kfira, is not believing. So why would Hashem himself agree to send the Meraglim? So let's go into the psukim, because there's a kind of a big question here. No. Let's go. Vayishlach Moshe Losor es Eretz Canaan. He sent them to visit. Losor is to visit. Tayar, a visitor, a vacationer. At Eretz Canaan. But if you look at, interestingly, if you look in Pasha's Devarim, when Moshe repeats what happens here, he says Lerago to spy. Not like in here, but I'm not going to go into this today. Vayomer Alehem, he told them, Aluze Banegev. I don't know if someone can translate this. Go there in the south. It's not even correct. It's Alu Banegev. Really, the intention is go southward. Valisem es Har, and you will climb the mountain. The Bnei Israel are at the tip below Eretz Israel. In the back, they have the Red Sea. In the front, they have Eretz Israel. So when you're going in the front, where are you going? South or north? North. So what is he telling them? Go south. Valisem esahar. Oh, the mountain. Go up the mountain. Yeah, which mountain? You go to Yerushalayim, it says Har Abayis, Har Atzoifim, Har Amnuchas, I don't know how many Harim there are. So, and we're not talking about Yerushalayim, they're very far down. So which Har are you talking about here? Because you say Har without even mentioning its name. It's a very interesting, there's a lot of shemis here, but if I have time, I'm going to touch this because it's so beautiful. I mean, what Moshe Rabbeinu hints here, and this is where we're going to try to focus a bit more. Ur-isem es ha'aretz mahi, if I have time, obviously. Ur-isem es ha'aretz mahi, and you will see, this is also very hard to translate. What is the land made of? Oh, I don't know. I'm giving already an explanation in the pasuk. Mahi. And the people sitting on it. Because you have to tell me they're sitting on it, because you're going to talk to me about other people, right? Echazakhu harafe. All you want to know if they're strong or not. Because if they're not strong, you have three levels. People are strong, normal, or weak. But you don't have to tell me if they're strong or weak, because then you're missing one level. And the level is they're neither strong nor weak. They're normal. But now, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to go from extreme to extreme. Is he strong or weak? Ham'at'u? Are they few or are there a lot? No, they're normal. And then again, Uma haaretz, and what's the land? You're going to see the next pasuk, Uma haaretz. Obviously, Moshe Rabbeinu is hinting something. I don't want to waste too much time on the questions. I think the question we asked before, summarize all these questions, but just to take one more, Uma ha'aretz, what's the land? Hashemenahi imraza. Is it fat or skinny? Hayesh ba'etz, is there a tree? A tree. Im ayin, or none, no trees. But Moshe Rabbeinu says the opposite after that. Please chazak them, strengthen yourself. Ulkachtem miperi haaretz, and you take from fruits from the land. But you're asking yourself, how can you say fruits of the land? You're asking if there's even one tree. So you know there are trees. So what are you asking if there's a tree? And look at this. So at least you know there are vines. It's a whole tumult here, but we understand that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu agrees to send the Meraglim, despite HaKadosh Baruch Hu promising at the Exodus from Mitzrayim that he's going to send us to Eretz Zavas Chalav Dvash, Dvash being Eretz is the land, the Chita is going to be fat. So already, this defeats one of the questions of Moshe Rabbeinu. We know HaKadosh Baruch Hu said the land will be very fat. Chalav, from the figs. So we have trees. Hashem promised it. You cannot have figs without having trees. Udvash is the tamarim, is the dates. So we're going to have date palms. So you know we're going to have. And we're going to have quite a bit. So these questions, and Hashem agreeing here, every time we say, Mipi Gvura, when we say HaKadosh Baruch Hu agree, it's from the Gvura. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a Gibor. And we always use that term, Mipi Gvura. I want to start the shir today by telling you this is not true, what I just said. Mipi Gvura is referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on a certain midah, and we'll understand why. Because Al Pi Hashem equals 216 equals Gvura. So here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the Meraglim Al Pi Hashem. Keep this on the side of your mind, meaning Al Pi HaGvura. Why did it have to be mentioned here, the midah of Gvura? We'll see. We're going to say it in a total different direction than all this. Because the Maaseh of the Meraglim, we're going to see, is hinting us the last days of this world. What's going to happen? All this Maaseh of the Meraglim is the projection, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the Shefa. We use the Shefa the way we use it, and according to our usage, this is what's going to happen to the children. They failed. They miserably failed, despite having whatever kavana, according to the Magen Avram, according to Rabbi Yohanes and Eibeshitz, they wanted to keep on learning Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu for 40 years. They didn't want Bnei Israel to go to Eretz Yisrael. They didn't want. Why? Because if they go to Eretz Yisrael, they're going to have to learn from Yeshua. Yeshua learned from Moshe. It's not the same Torah already. Moshe learned from HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly. Mipi Gvura. Oh, Gvura again. He learned mipi agvura. So they want to keep on learning Torah, and they explain that the Midrash says, Shlach lecha letoivascha ulhanaascha. And the Midrash says, you earned 38 extra years of life. There's a lot of questions. I'm not here to go into the Midrash. I'm just introducing the beginning and the end. And we're going to go to the end because we're leaving the end. And we're going to explain it according to what happened to the Meraglim. But still, we need to understand a little bit what was the Maisa of the Meraglim. So by sending the Meraglim and them failing, Moshe Rabbeinu, the cheshbon of the Meraglim was like this. We are in our own little world called the Midbar. We don't have to sow the field. We don't have to plant. We don't have to work. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes care of all our needs. We don't have to sew our clothes. We don't have to change our shoes. We don't have to fabricate anything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes care of everything. All we can do is learn Torah. From who? From the best that there is, Moshe Rabbeinu. And there's a chashivas to this. Because once we're going to go into Eretz Yisrael and everyone is going to be busy, we're not going to learn the same Torah. We're not going to have access to the same Torah. We're not going to be, Bnei Yisrael says in the middle, Bnei Yisrael, as soon as Moshe Rabbeinu, before he departed this world, he asked Yeshua, do you have any question? He said, no. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took this as a gaiva. He forgot 300 halachas. And when Bnei Yisrael came to ask him those halachas, he says he doesn't remember. They wanted to lapidate him. Because someone who forgets the halachas is chayv misa. So now, Moshe Rabbeinu is the main shepherd and has been, is, and will be the shepherd of the Bnei Israel. Pasuk says, Shlomo HaMelech says, Mashe haya hu she'iyeh. Mashe haya, Rashi Tevis, says the Ari HaKodesh, Moshe. Mashe haya Moshe, shepherd of Bnei Israel before. Hu she'iyeh, in every generation. Where is Moshe? The Gadol Adoyer of every generation has a nitzoitz of Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu, why does he accept to come back like this in every generation? Says the Zohar HaKodesh in Pashas Kiseitze. It's because he's very connected to Yosef HaTzadik. Why is he connected to Yosef HaTzadik? Only because he cannot accomplish his mission without the power of Yosef. In other words, Yosef HaTzadik is the Yesod. Moshe Rabbeinu is the Tiferes, above. The Malchus is below. In order to reach the Malchus, he has to go through the Yesod. In other words, a person, in order to cohabit with his wife, he needs the Yesod. Just mi besari achze Eloika. From my body, I can see God. In other words, I can understand how things are working in Shamayim. So that's why Vayikach Moshe esatz Moshe Yosef. He needed the power of Yosef, and therefore he was very connected, and therefore it's him who went to get the bones of Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef himself has a different power. He is called by Moshe Rabbeinu a Shiur, a bull. Esau is a bull. Esau is the bull of the Sitra Achra. Yosef is the bull of the Kedusha. I'm not going to go into the cheshbonis of Yosef, but just for the sake of those who remember, you take Shlach Lecha Anashim. You understand that we're talking about this. Shlach equals 338, equals Yaakov Yosef. Yaakov is the fire, Yosef is the flame. We are talking here in this parsha. And when is Yaakov and Yosef, he was able to leave Lavan, and because he's not scared anymore of Esau, we're talking at the end of time. So we know already from the beginning of this parsha, we know also 338 equals the Samar, Kel, Rahav, the two names of Esau and Ishmael, the two powers of Esau and Ishmael, the ministers, the Malach, will be taken down by Yaakov Yosef. Yaakov shares the same midah as Moshe Tiferes. So we see the game here being played, and Moshe Rabbeinu is putting together the puzzle for the Geula Shleima. Why? Why already Moshe Rabbeinu is worried in his time about the last generation? Because he knows he cannot provide to the Malchus, which is considered his Kala, unless he has Yosef with him. But Yosef has a big problem. Big problem. What problem does he have? He's going to have a descendant called Yerovah, who's going to be Melech Yisrael. And in order, he was so jealous, that person. He was so terrible. I don't know if we should call this, he had anxiety, because he was a powerful man. I don't know how to call this, but he was scared that if Israel go up to the Beis Hamikdash, they're all going to make tshuva, and they're going to uproot his melucha, his kingdom. And therefore, he made on the way to Yerushalayim 2 gold cows, 2 egel, and he told Israel, and they used to be Oved Avodah Zarah. He was choite umachti. The avoidance of Yerovam was so great that there was a gzera on his descendant, the Mashiach ben Yosef, that he will die in the hand of a cruel king called Armilus. Armilus. We'll see where it's important, that name, to understand that name. So Moshe Rabbeinu decided, I need to save him. If you look just in the Gemara, in Sukkah, Nun Beis, Amud Beis, that I'll show you in the pasuk later. It's going to be a disaster after his death for Israel. They're going to take it very harshly. So Moshe Rabbeinu told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to be suffering every generation. Make me come back every generation. I will take the pain and the suffering as long as you say the Mashiach ben Yosef. The whole purpose of sending the Meraglim was part of a strategy to save Mashiach ben Yosef. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted the Meraglim to succeed. Why? Because had they succeeded, they would have been saving the Mashiach ben Yosef. We see in the pasuk, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, Ish echad. Twice he repeats that word. One man. What it means, one man, one man. Who's one man, one man? One man is Mashiach ben David. Second man is Mashiach ben Yosef. So Hashem agreed for the deal. Mashiach ben David, we know that nothing will happen to him. And he was a descendant of Yehuda, of South Caleb. And Yeshua being from Ephraim, he will have the Mashiach ben Yosef. So we see the two here, and we have to understand how in this psukim, Moshe Rabbeinu is working for the Mashiach ben Yosef. So we're going to go a little bit into the history of what's going to happen at the end, and how it can be avoided, and what was the outcome by the mice of the Meraglim that can maybe tell us what will be the fate of the Mashiach ben Yosef. Because that's the main goal of Moshe Rabbeinu. The main goal. Because after Mashiach, Moshe Rabbeinu will be connected with the Shekhinah. That's actually why HaKadosh Baruch Hu always talked to Moshe and Aaron. Every time you see Moshe, something going to Moshe and Aaron, you know it affects the Shekhinah, the Malchus. Every time there's Moshe and Aaron, not Moshe alone, Moshe and Aaron, you know the Malchus is there. How do you know? How much is Moshe and Aaron? 256 and 345. Well, 601. HaMalchus. The Torah speaks to us with Remazim. So not only we understand the mitzvah that the Torah is telling us, but we understand where it goes and what it affects. Because once we know it goes in the Malchus, we know we have schar and oynish. We have the merits, but we have also chas v'shalom punishments if we touch. Meaning we affecting, with that mitzvah, we affecting directly the Malchus. For those who knows, we in the Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Shem Ben. So Moshe Rabbeinu is taking every generation, is taking pain and why Moshe, so we see Moshe Aaron, but what is Moshe? Sorry, it's Moshe Yosef. I said Moshe Aaron. Moshe and Yosef, Moshe Aaron I'll explain later. Moshe and Yosef, so it's 156 plus 345 equals 501. And this is a very essential number. I'm going to show you because I'm going to build on it. If we take Moshe Yosef, we said equals 501. 501 equals Hamalchus equals Rosh. If we take the word Yisrael, we all know that the words, the letters inside Yisrael, the pnimius of Yisrael is Rosh. Exactly this. In other words, the Malchus lies within the Bnei Yisrael, but the connection Moshe and Yosef, which is Torah and Yesod, lie at the foundations of the Bnei Yisrael. That's the foundation. And therefore, this connection has to remain in order to have Bnei Yisrael. Not only Bnei Yisrael during this world, but Be'achris Hayamim, when it's going to be extremely difficult to keep Israel together, as we're going to see. And I told you that ish echad, do I have it here? No, I don't have it. It says ish echad. I want to save time. I'm not going to put the nekudas. Ish echad. This equal, I tell you, it's a two Mashiachim, 648 equals Mashiach ben Yosef ben David. Exactly what we say. The Lashon, the whole game here is about the end of time to try to save the Bnei Israel from a lot of headache. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to do something very, very unusual. Okay, we understand now the context. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to do something very unusual. He's going to change the name of Yehoshua. He was Hoshea, even though there's millions of questions. The Torah calls him always Yehoshua, so he was not Hoshea. You don't find that it's called Hoshea. But anyway, it's besides the point. He calls him Yehoshua, and he says, Ka Yoshiach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help you. Rashi explains to be saved from the idea of the Meragli. Miraculously, Yeshua will be saved because of the tefillah of Moshe Rabbeinu. However, Caleb doesn't receive a bracha. He will endanger himself to go to Hebron, Vaya'alu, Vanegev, Vayovoi at Hebron. Says the Zohar, says the Gemara. The beginning of the pasuk is plural. Then right away jumps to singular. It teaches us that they all went up southward, but only the Midrash says he told them a story. He went to Hebron in Maras HaMachpelah to daven there. You know, then the giants saw, you know, he really endangered his life. Moshe Rabbeinu, went you daven for him? What does it cost you? You daven for your Yeshua, daven for Caleb, and you Caleb. Why didn't you ask Moshe Rabbeinu for a bracha? You know, today we see a Rebbe, or you know, whatever, we go for a bracha. We see a Makubal, or we call them names and everything, EGBGs, whatever. We go ask for a bracha. We go ask for an Eitzah. Why didn't you ask Moshe Rabbeinu? What did you take the burden on you to have to go through at night? Go to Maras HaMachpelah. That's interesting. That's really mind-boggling. Moshe Rabbeinu could have saved all this hardship by just davening for Caleb. And if your bracha is so great that it can save a person from saying Lashon Hara, then HaKadosh Moshe Rabbeinu, I have a time on you. Why don't you daven for all of them? The Zohar HaKadosh says this week, on all the avoynes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu with tshuva is mechaper. One thing is not mechaper. Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara has no kapar. That's how far the Zohar goes on this. Well, if we have time, we'll go, you know, a little bit more into it. It's inyan of the yoima. So, very interesting, the approach of Moshe Rabbeinu that does not. So why would you daven for your Yeshua exclusively? Oh, people from outside start saying, you know what, he's very selfish because Yeshua is his helper and so forth, and therefore he only davens for Yeshua, not for the others. Look at this, he's only for himself, and he's only... Stupid, boring. it's very, very striking that the attitude of Moshe Rabbeinu, and we're talking about Achrei Sayamim, the end of time. I think we could have used, for the end of time, to make it sweeter rather than bitter, we could have used the bracha of Moshe Rabbeinu. However, we do need some kind of metrics to differentiate between Yidden and Erev Rav. I'm not going to go into it again, but we learned in Parshas Metzora that when a person misuses his mouth, what's happening? He's losing the nefesh, ruach, neshama from kedusha, and he's getting a nefesh, ruach, neshama of the sitra achra. So don't wonder the afterward if that person is not rational, because now it's not the same person. He thinks he's the same. He is not the same. The chelek eloika mimal that he had is gone. He's gone. He's not having it again. What does he have? Pelek of the Nachash. And all he's going to do from now on is the work of the Nachash. If it's going to become now his nature, because the Nachash give his nature inside his nefesh, it's not for free. It's like when you go to the left, you always find out that things are not for free. Oh, we're going to give hands out. Nothing is for free. You end up paying a lot more. It's not worth it. Hands out are never worth it. Dari HaKadosh, that's for Mordechai, says it's the wrong side. Dari HaKadosh in Pri Etz Chaim, in the Drushim, on the Kavanos of the Shemona Esrei, says that when David HaMelech said in Tehillim, Chaim Shoal Mimcha Nosat Aloi, the Mashiach ben Yosef asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu for life. They shouldn't be killed, and you give it to him. Says the Marchok, Reb Chaim Vital. One time my Rebbe, which is the Ari HaKadosh, went to Gush Chalav to be mishtateach. Mishtateach is a very interesting expression. It's not davening. It's when they go on the tomb, the Dizmekubalim, Dari HaKadosh, they know exactly where the body was, and they go face exactly, eyes on eyes, nose on nose, and mouth on mouth. And they put their hand in a certain way, and they talk to the, when they learn Torah that way. Okay, that's too much already. So he said that the Shmaya and Avtalion were megale to Dari HaKadosh that when we say V'chisei David avich b'Yerushalayim icha berachamim tashu b'sishka neseicha kasher dibato V'chisei David, Kisei David, Kisei David, he says we must have the kavana that Mashiach ben Yosef should be saved from our milus, harasha, and live by the end of times. Says that's the way to save him. And it gives a hint, Dari HaKadosh. He says, if you take the Sefer Tevis here, the last letters, what do we have? Melech. If we take the first letters, We have backward Mashiach. Chaim Shol Mimcha, the Melech HaMashiach, the Melech HaMashiach, which is the Mashiach ben Yosef. What do we have left as letters? Yud Yud, Aleph Mem. In Adpash, they come out to Marcus. So we're only taking obviously one of the Yuds, not the two Yud. In this pasuk is hinted the real demand. That's the way he explained. Actually, that's Reb Nosson Shapiro that explained exactly the hint. This is what the Arya Kodesh writes at the end of this Kavana, and I wrote it for you. Venire, and it seems, She'al Yedeh Schus, because of the Schus, Ha'oiskim bechochmas emes, those who toil in the true Chochmah, Yesh koyach beyodam, they have the capacity, lehagin al Mashiach ben Yosef, to protect the Mashiach ben Yosef, shelo yamus, that he should not die, al yedeh harasha, by the Rasha armi loose. So much for those who want to say that, not to learn and this and that. Here it is. Mashiach ben Yosef is going to be saved by the learning, by the toiling, the effort to understand the Chochmas HaEmes. These are the merits that needs the Mashiach ben Yosef to be saved by our means. What's the flip side? The pasuk says, "Vehibitu Eli," they will look at me, as Asher Dakaru, the one that was pierced, Vesavdu Olav, and they will eulogize him, Kemispeid ala Yachid, like a father that had the Mitzudas touch there. A father that eulogizes his unique son, the Hamer Olav, it's going to be bitter on him, Kehamer Alav Choyer, like if he lost his Bechoyer, his only son. And the Gemara says, who we talking there? Mashiach ben Yosef. Mashiach ben Yosef. People are going to be. There's never been and never will be such a hesped, such a bitterness as the bitterness for the loss of the Mashiach ben Yosef. Why? What's so special about him? I understand that Tzaddik, sure, Am Yisrael is sad, but why such a unique sadness that resembles the father that lost his unique son, his only son? They're not going to be able to stop, meaning they're not going to be able to get up from this hesped. They're never going to be able to get out of this mourning. What is the key in the Mashiach ben Yosef here to Am Yisrael? What's the connection? What's the soid here that Am Yisrael sees that we don't see, that we depend so much on the Mashiach ben Yosef? I'm going to introduce you beforehand what Rabbi Yaakov Abu Chatzera in the Sefer Machseif Halavan is saying, because all the Mefarshe HaEmes have stumbled onto that point. They're very few, very, very few. But those that mentioned have explained it exactly like this. They all went along with the inyan that the Meraglim was keneged Achris Hayam. So And obviously, every time we can find a schus for the Mashiach ben Yosef, obviously, and especially for tzaddikim elyonim like this, it's a mitzvah to mention. Because as we utter it, we come out with our mouth, the words come out, they go up. And they're prayer. So even, and it changes the reality. Says tremendous chiddush. Says the Machzei Falaban. The Mashiach ben Yosef is a descendant of Yehoshua. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he blessed him, he gave him the bracha for the Mashiach ben Yosef. That's a tremendous chiddush, because that would explain why he didn't daven on the others. He did not daven on any of them. The bracha was not for Yeshua to be saved, me'atzas meraglim per se. It was a bracha as to save the Mashiach ben Yosef from our midos. What's the connection, for goodness sake? Meraglim, Rasha Merusha, Armilu sounds coming from Europe, more specifically from the cursed land of Italy, and that was not part of Bria So'ilam, was not part of Bria So'ilam. It was Gabriel, Malach Gabriel. When he threw his stick in the Yam, he became a lamb. When they translated the Torah by Yeshua ben Chanina, what was the name of the king? Escapes me right now. Anyway, they translated, he got the world shook. There was a tremor in the earth, because this is kind of a little bit of a desecration of the Torah to try to say it in a different language. And he threw his stick in the Yam and he became Italy. And this became now, by translating the Torah, we created our own enemy, with this, which has the same power, which is Esau over there in the Vatican, is the core of Esau. Once the Vatican is up, Beis Hamikdash cannot be up. When Beis Hamikdash is up, it means the Vatican is down. It's going to be destroyed. It does, both of them, it's exactly the same thing as Mashiach 358, Nachash 358. Once again the other. Once Nachash rules in this world, Mashiach cannot be. Once Mashiach will come, means the Nachash is dead. That's the way it is. So, but what's the connection? I like, we like to fantasize a little bit. Yeah, nice, good drush, very deep and everything. I like to be concrete. You know me already by now. I don't like fluff. I don't really relate very well to fluff. So we have to figure out, and we're going to see everything what I'm saying now in the words of the Apostle. What is our milos? Our milos is a Rasha Merusha. In our terms, now we know already what Rasha is. We learned that Dari HaKadosh says there's two bad letters, one good letter, but by our milos, we call him Rasha, it's only really bad. Ra, is Ra actually, not even Rasha. He passed that one. People that talk Lashon Hara are the Nachash. Somebody who takes the melacha of the Nachash becomes a very part of the Nachash himself. And there's no difference anymore between someone who has a frak, who has a gato and a shtreimel, whatever you want, and speaks Lashon Hara, or is mekabel Lashon Hara. He is doing the same melacha as our milus, and his actions are killing Mashiach ben Yosef. I'm going to show you this in the Sefer of the Goinim in Reb Saadia Gaon. What I'm saying here, I'm not saying anything on my own. I'm just explaining in understandable language. That's all I'm doing. When a person misuses his mouth, it does affect the fate of the Mashiach ben Yosef. Now you see a relationship already a little bit better between our milus, which is the Nachash. You don't believe me, huh? I'll show you why it's called that way. Okay, we said his name is our milus. I'm going to put in red every letter I'm taking out. So I have Samech. I have Mem. So I have Mem. I have to have Aleph. And I have Lam. What do we have here in these armidas? What do we have left in the letters? Mordechai, open your microphone and tell me what do I have here. If you take too long, Menachem, open your microphone.
No, it's the word that says right next to it. I don't know if I'm allowed to pronounce. Am I allowed to pronounce it?
No, you don't pronounce any Shemesh, but we have something very, very simple here.
I'm seeing the Samach Mem.
Oh, no, we see the Samech Mem, but we have 3 letters remaining inside our middles. What are these 3 letters?
216.
Very good. 216. What is 216? Gvura. 216 is 3 times 72. It's 3 times chesed. So here we have the gvura of the Psalm is going to come. You understand what it was Al Pi Hashem at the beginning? Meaning with the gvura, he tried to send them with the gvura of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And these people decided to take off the cloth, the kosnos oir, the clothes of light, and wear on themselves the dirty cloth of the Nachash. It's 2 gvuras, one against another. Someone who keeps his mouth is Al Pi Hashem, Al Pi. That's the reason he speaks here exactly in the Lashon of the Pasuk. It's all going to depend in your mouth. If you are on top of your mouth, Al Pi, it's going to be Hashem. But otherwise, if you speak Lashon Hara, you're going to be our milus. What are you doing? You're killing Mashiach ben Yosef. I got to tell you, I'm affecting it. Yes, you're affecting. This is the biggest chet. And we're gonna go into the Targum Yonasan, biggest Talmud of Hillel HaZaken. he's explaining himself that this whole Maise is the Maise of the milchem of Gog uMagog and Armilus, that are going to come to Jerusalem, go up into Jerusalem, and these are the words of said they're going. I didn't see him yet. Maybe I passed him. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm going to tell you what the Gaon says. Mashiach ben Yosef is going to come before the end. He's going to take down Esau, the Shiur the Kedusha, then the Shiur the Tumah, the Sitra Achra. He's going to take the Bnei Yisrael. He's going to go on Har HaBayis, take out these the places of Esau, the place, the Tumas of the Tifla, and he's going to start teaching Torah to the Bnei Yisrael. And Bnei Yisrael, they're going to love him so much that they are going to make tshuva. Because we are in this situation and Mashiach is not coming because we're not making tshuva. So Chazal said, I'm going to bring a melech around them that with terrible gzeras, that they're going to prefer, that's what the guy says, they're going to prefer to do tshuva rather than going through the tsaras. And that's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to force his people to do tshuva. But here in the Targum Yonasan, he says something interesting. He could have stopped there. Explanation, stop there in the pasuk. We find, we understand. Because now we are very clear about this game happening here. It's not a game, it's a static situation. It's an active situation that's going to have effect, upon later. Then will come Michael. The whole midrash about the last kitrug between the Sam and Michael. Michael, we tell him, shut up. You have talked enough all along. Shut up from now on. And Michal will turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Have mercy on Yerushalayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to say, I have mercy on Yerushalayim. Bimheira biyameinu, amen. And he's going to send Mashiach ben David at this point. And Malach Michal is going to come and Gabriel together make the Nekama, take the Jews, a whole midrash. And the Mashiach ben David is going to kill our Milus just by saying Hashem. He's not even going to fight him. He's going to say Hashem, boop, our Milus will be dead. Explains here, Shimshon Mospropoli, Hashem in Kain Domoi, that Gog uMagog and our Milus are twin brothers. Interesting. And he says, that's from the Canaan, that the name of their mother is Gasha. And he says maybe it's a hint because it's Ain, Gog, Magog, Armilus. That's what Gasha is. So really we see in the words and there's 417 chambers, Hechalos, in Olam HaBeriah, and with these Hechalos, the power of these Hechalos, I know you won't understand at the beginning, but I promise you, I'm not going to go too deep on this. I'm going to make it digestible. with these echolis, he will kill Gog Magog and Armidus. Says a Meredikavol. 417 is Gematria Zayis. Shemen Zayis Zach. When Bnei Israel are going to be Shemen Zayis Zach, clear, they will be able to defeat Gog Magog plus Armilus equals 470. In other words, he just illustrates this to us, that when we are able to be the Zayis, because Shemen is Torah, so when Bnei Israel will be following the ways of the Torah, Armilus and whoever else has no shlita, cannot be shoylet on the Bnei Israel. And he says, that's why he says in the pasuk, "Ve'olu moishiim be'aretz Zion," those who will help. And we touch usually Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. Says the Marash, no, Michal and Gabriel. That's the two moishim that they're going to come to the help of the Bnei Israel at the end of time. But there's another pirush of also on the Canaan from it's called the Pashas Eliezer. He's also a type of the Shimshon Mostropoli. And he gave here a hint. I forgot if I can find it on my document. About our midas at the end of time. Oh, yes. The whole entire world is encompassed in one name. The Midrash in Bereshit says Adam Arishan had all the worlds, all the generation inside him. People understand literally he had everybody inside him. He was not himself. He was everybody. Adam, the word Adam, the Zohar says, stands for Aleph Adam, beginning of the world, beginning of the creation. David, which is the Malchus Yisrael. Mashiach is the end of time. Everything in the world is in between those spaces. And they're all in the name of Adam. That's what it means. Now, if you take Adam, David, Mashiach equals 417, like Zeiss. When do you bring the world to the final station? And there's Adam. For those who learn our Shabbos with us, you understand when I'm saying Adam, Shema, which is the Tachlis, to be elevating the Yesod. But he said, it's Armilus, Goigu, Magog equals 470. When the Ben Israel is Adam, in other words, Betzelem Eloikim bara es ha'adam, and everybody types up the face resemble the shtusim. He doesn't say the face. It says Betzelem. What is that Tselem? That Tselem is the Oyer Mekif, the Oyer that surrounds the person. On it, it says one name when a person is Zoichen. Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav, Hey Aleph. Shem Ma, the Shem of the Kavana of Kriya Shema. That's what it says on the Tselem Eloikim, Lakin Kaviyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu also has a Shem Ma. That's the Tselem Eloikim bara es ha'adam. The person resembles HaKadosh Baruch Hu in terms that his Tselem can also have Shem, like in the Kavanas of the Mikveh for Mordechai. When you go out and now you're getting a Tselem, the first Kavana is the Yud Kebav Kede Alfin, Shema. Anyway, I don't want to lose the others. And Rabbi Yaakov Abuchatzera, at the end of his word, is saying, there's no question to me that since Caleb and Yeshua were successful, this is a simon for the end of times that Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David will be successful. There is no question about it. If Chas v'Shalom, Yeshua was not successful, then indeed, Chas v'Shalom, that would have been a sign that he would have not saved the Mashiach ben Yosef. Now I'm explaining you now a little bit differently why he davened on Yeshua. Because there was a reason for Yeshua to veer away. What was the reason? Since the Meraglim went with the good kavanah to save Moshe's life, to be able to learn more Torah than Moshe, who would be very sensitive to that? His own Talmud, the one, Yeshua bin Nun, na lo yamish mitacha oihel. He never moved away from Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was his idol, was his everything. Despite sacrificing his own life for the life of his master, he would do it. Moshe Rabbeinu foresaw that. And he said, no. He doesn't understand his mission. He has a bigger mission on his shoulders. It's Am Yisrael B'Achrei Sayamim. Am Yisrael needs a Mashiach ben Yosef, because Mashiach ben Yosef is the one who's going to make tshuva, who's going to be mekarev the Bnei Yisrael back. So we need him very badly. I forgot who said, Ms. Bashton, who said that? I think it's Rav Tzaddik Gaon. In his Pirush, he said, once it's Rav Tzaddik Gaon, when our Milus is going to come, and it's never going to happen, it's just, in potential, and kill the Mashiach ben Yosef, the Tsaris are going to come on the Jews, wherever they are, and people, the Goyim, will be disgusted by the Jews, and they'll banish them from their countries. Like in the old time in Poland, in France, in everywhere. All over Europe. But this time, they're not going to let them go to any other countries. All the countries together are going to banish them. The only place Bnei Yisrael will have to where to be is in the Midbar, like in the desert. And it's going to be a very, very big tzar to the Bnei Yisrael like it never happened before. To the point that some people won't be able to sustain the Nisayan, the Chemana Tzlan are going to fall in the pit. But some will sustain and still hold strong on the Torah. Then Mashiach will come and free those one that withstood the Nisayan. And the others will die. Now you see the importance in Am Yisrael, because the whole history at the end of time will be changed. And now I'm going to put you all of this together. If the Mashiach ben Yosef remains alive, and he goes to Harabais, and he teaches Torah, and he brings back the Bnei Yisrael to do tshuva, at that point, we all gonna be deserving the Geula Shlema. the Mashiach will appear because we're going to be Adam, David, Mashiach. We're going to make the tikkun ourselves. We're not going to be subjected, to be passive, and then Mashiach comes only for one portion. In contrary, we were going to be actively doing things called tshuva and bring Mashiach. But this can only be through the Mashiach ben Yosef. And then Am Yisrael is not going to have to go through this tsaros and a libun in the midbar in order to deserve Mashiach. He's going to make it. He's going to make it happen himself. I want to crystallize this into a very simple way. As the Maharash Mostropoli, Reb Shimshon Mostropoli said, as the Pashas Eliezer said, our Milus Gog Magog equals 417. They said equals Zais. I want to go a different way. In Pashas Noach, we learned that the Shechina is the one she's called the Teva. She is the one, it's not the woods, it's not the thing that protected. We called it the Sitra Achra, the Malach HaMaves, the female. It's called Mayim Hazedoinim, the rumbling waters. Nobody's safe from this rumbling. Unless the Shekhinah protects somebody, then this Rish'ah, she doesn't approach the Shekhinah, she's scared of her. Because when the Shekhinah stands, means the Bina is protecting her. So we have here, 417 is Teva. The person is in the Teva. He's not seeing the tsaros, and that goes very well along with what we explained, because then he doesn't have the tsaros of the outside. Those people outside are dying, but the people that are in the Teva are protected. So who is outside? The person who follows his tithers. Ha-taiva equals 470. You can be in the Teva, or you can remain outside the Teva. You can be one of the 10 Meraglim, or you can be Yeshua and Caleb. You can be part of the tzaddikim that's going to be Mekabel Pnei Shechina, or you can be part of the Rishaim that are going to die before Mashiach comes. Why? Because you followed your taiva. Your taiva was your bal gaiva, because that's why the Gemara says in Erchin. Your koifer beikar, that's what the Gemara says in Erchin. Someone who speaks lashon hara. He doesn't only belittle his friend. He's not only over on an horror of hitting his friend in with his tongue. He is affecting the Mashiach ben Yosef. He's affecting his own, this world, next world, and Chiyas HaMeisim, but beyond everything, he's affecting Kuchabarit. He's a koifer be'ikar. There's no way he's going to stand. What was the midah of the Meraglim despite their good intentions? How did they fall? How do you fall from being such anoshim? The Midrash says anovim, they had anivis, they were tzaddikim, they were everything. How did they fall? Because they did not listen to Moshe Rabbeinu. They wanted to do everything on their own. He told them, and I'm finishing on this, Alu Banegev, Alu Ze Banegev, go up in the Negev. Negev is the midah of Abraham Avinu. Actually, Alu Ze Banegev is 175, like the years of Abraham Avinu. Is the shemis of the back of the chokhmah? I'm not going to go into this. I just want to be simple. On Shabbos, I've explained that in you. That's Hashem. So he told them, go, all of you to Hebron, and you will be successful. Go daven on the kever of the Aves and tell them HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekayim Shvur that he made to you, that he's giving us Eretz Yisrael. Vaya'alu b'negev. They did. They went up in the south, in the middle of Chesed. This, as long as it serves the interest, they'll use the Chesed. Vayavoy at Hebron. He went till Hebron, only one. Caleb listened to Moshe Rabbeinu. He was saved. What is the gematria Vayavoy at Hebron? Says the Megale Amukas. Vayavoy at Hebron equals 359. The sum. At that moment, when they did not listen to Moshe Rabbeinu, they fell in the hand of the Sultan. After that, the rest is history. Because once somebody is a thing, he's going to do the worst chataim, so he'll never be able to be redeemed. And this is how they went to Lashon Hara, because they be asking us if they were tzaddikim. Yes, a person, as long as he has a nefesh, ruach, neshama, the kedusha, he can remain a tzaddik. But once he has a nefesh, ruach, neshama of tuma, he cannot be a tzaddik. He's part of the Satan. How do I know I'm being on the outside? Who is the person in front of me? Again and again and again and again, I told that. Listen to his words. Lashon Hara guarantees you that he is very deep in the hand of the Nukva, in the hand of the Sitra Achra, in the hands of the Malach HaMalvis. Hashem Yatzilenu, and a person should watch no matter what we are tested, even if they say Lashon Hara on you, even if this, we stand and you just elevate yourself and get more Kedusha. And that, by the way, the Kedusha Delus comes to you, said the Chesed Abraham. And Bez Hashem, with these efforts, we can save the life of Mashiach ben Yosef, and I'm sure at the end, the emes will be revealed. Amen.